going to talk to Ben from CNI, learn a little bit about that world. All right, so Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your title? How long have you been here? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I've been at IGS for almost 5 years now. I think about almost exactly a month. I think it's July 8th.
Nice.
It's the anniversary, so coming up on that.
Congrats.
Thank you. And my title now is Commercial Account Manager.
Okay.
So on the CNI team. I moved into that role technically about a year ago, but really been immersed in it for about 9 months or so.
Cool,
Yep.
nice. So on a day-to-day, what is it that you do?
So as an account manager, I have a book of business customers that are put in my name.
Okay.
Probably about total, I think it's somewhere between 300 and 400.
Oh, wow.
So a large amount of customers, and essentially, the main goal is to obviously maintain the book value of those, but more importantly, make sure each customer is taken care of, obviously the IGS way.
Right.
And that their accounts are in a good spot. So on a day-to-day basis, I do have certain customers that might have a contract for a couple of years, don't necessarily need a lot of touches right now or taken care of, they're well set.
Right.
So my day-to-day is working on, maybe some contracts that are a year out, or maybe even just a month, or they're rolled over on a variable term. Really essentially, making sure I'm in touch with them as much as they need be, and their accounts are in a good spot and that we're both on the same page.
Got it.
Essentially giving them the service that they need,
Right.
and that their energy needs are met.
I feel like you guys do a lot of what Inbound does as far as keeping up that customer service, just on a bigger scale with customers.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, that's the main goal. Just I know that Inbound, that was one of the big revamps that they did.
right.
Having those conversations, just a day-to-day normal conversation, and that's what we do as well. So definitely ties in with one another.
Perfect. So I know with Inbound, so just to clarify, because I think some people do get confused, we are to send leads to CNI. So what qualifies as a CNI lead?
Yep. So there is, on the electric side of things, an annual threshold, and on gas as well. So for electric, for their business, if it's over 100,000 kilowatt hours annually.
Okay.
And that can be on one account or several accounts added up.
Oh, okay.
As long as their accounts add up to over 100,000 or close to that on an annual basis, and then either 10,000 CCF, 1,000 MCF on the gas.
Okay.
So those are the thresholds that we try to get over on an annual basis for a CNI lead.
Perfect. So how does that work? So an Inbound agent gets a call, they think it's a good CNI lead, they have that criteria, they fill out the invoice or the form, send it to you. What happens next?
So the good news is on the form too, there's a little note section where I can say if they want maybe a call back right away,
Right.
or say call them Monday at 9 a.m. So a little bit makes my job easier to know
Right.
when to reach back out. Essentially, if there's no note, I'm going to call that customer right away. Shoot them an email if I have that as well. My main goal is to make contact as quickly as possible, because a lot of times with those type of leads, they might be shopping around. It's
Right.
good to get in touch.
Yes.
And obviously want to follow up, it's on their mind. So my goal is to get in touch as quickly as possible, understand their current situation. If the agent wasn't able to, maybe get their contract end dates if they have that in place.
Nice.
I'm going to try to collect their invoices, obviously, because that's how we put pricing together.
Okay.
So collect all that data that I need to get the ball rolling. But again, the key is getting in touch as quickly as possible after that conversation. in my
Right.
opinion. So,
I understand.
just collecting all that information really is the first get-go, and then move on to working on pricing, and then just the normal sales process. And hopefully
So
close the deal.
for each CNI lead, do you guys kind of completely build your own pricing for them, just dependent on usage, all that kind of stuff?
Yep, so we do all customized pricing, in the sense that, I could have one customer, they could get X price,
Right.
and someone else uses electric and gas at a different place, it could be a little bit different.
Okay.
And that affects us as well, so we do customize everything, and that's why we want to collect the invoices.
Right.
So,
That makes sense.
and the good news is that a lot of times that can give us a competitive edge,
Right.
compared to some of our competitors, especially with working on some of the smaller accounts,
Okay.
doing just like the matrix, generic type pricing. so have a little bit of an edge there sometimes. So
Good.
definitely helpful.
Cool. Okay. So, how does your department work closely with the Solution Center in any other capacity than the leads?
Definitely do, and the Solution Center helps us a lot. Our customers, whether it's the account management team, outside sales, and their book of customers, a lot of times people tend to forget our phone numbers
Yep.
or even our email addresses, and they will then obviously call in to the phone number they find on the bill or the one that they Google.
Right.
So the Solution Center definitely does help us a lot in the sense of, and then through the escalations team as well, when someone calls in, actually helping getting that customer to the right reps so we can help out with whatever the problem, whatever the issue is.
Good.
And they do a great job of getting that through pretty quickly, because obviously no one wants to get transferred around a lot.
Nope.
So that they help us out immensely
Good.
with that for sure. I think would be the other big one, other than just selling new deals.
Sending all that up.
Yeah.
What is another department that you guys work closely with?
Another department, I would say, definitely up in the C&I or just overall the entire company.
With CNI, what's another department with IGS that you guys work pretty closely?
Okay. I would say definitely the operations team.
Okay.
Operations and supply on our end. A big thing with what we're doing anytime with its current customers or uploading new customers, there's a lot of back out office work that salespeople don't know what to do.
Oh, okay.
And don't know how to handle, and
Right.
they make sure that all the accounts, billing obviously, all that goes through properly. Anytime there's issues, we just run screaming to them. Oh, not necessarily screaming, but saying help, please
Close
help.
enough.
And they certainly help keep everything run smoothly. So we can be out talking to customers, selling new deals,
Nice.
doing all that work on the back end. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't really get seen as much.
Right.
That I would say we probably work hand in hand with them
A lot.
more so than any other department.
Good.
Would be my guess.
So a lot of people that work in the Solution Center start there and realize how great IGS is and want to move up. For someone who was thinking, maybe CNI is right for me, what kind of person do you guys look for as far as would be a good contributor to CNI, and what's a good background to have in working in that kind of area?
Sure. I can kind of tie that into my background a little bit too.
Perfect.
Past roles have always been one, sales and customer service,
Right.
obviously. Working on the phone, so that obviously works here in terms of trying to move up, because at least for me, you can sit there and email all day to your
Right.
customers, but actually get on the phone and speaking with someone is a big plus. Two, jump into the C&I role, one, I think a strong market knowledge
Okay.
is definitely a plus. Obviously, especially on the commercial side, we're dealing with contracts day in and day out.
Okay.
Putting those contracts together ourselves, the language in them, how that can compare with our competitors' contracts.
Right.
Pricing within different utilities, and understanding the competition out there, because it's always ever changing. So not just knowing IGS. So really that market knowledge is probably one of the bigger aspects of
Makes
being
sense.
successful
Yeah.
in the C&I role, in terms of not just being able to sell on the phone. We go out and meet in person a lot as well. In-person meetings are key.
Right.
Anyone again can sit there behind a desk and type out emails, and I do it all the time. I do it day to day for the most part. But actually, going out and having the confidence to be able to sit down and meet with commercial customers, sometimes some pretty large users. That's a big positive as well. Trying to think what else.
Yeah, face to face can sometimes be hard.
It is.
So.
And I think just both of those together, whether it's on the phone, face to face, when it comes to being in sales in general, at least for my role, if someone was looking to move up into C&I, is one, having that confidence to be able to do so.
Yeah.
And two, being able to have just that conversational tone, not being pushy over the phone or in emails or in person. And also, it's a typical cliche, but being able to hear no.
Yep.
I'm sure you hear it all the time on
We
solution
do hear that a
systems
lot
as
down
well.
here.
Yeah, especially in a market like we have right now.
Right.
It's tough.
Yep.
And you'll be told no a lot. So that perseverance and being able to continuously work in the good times and bad, I think, is a big plus.
Yeah.
If you want to look at jumping the scene on as well.
Good.